Hi guys, hopefully you can hear me today with the wind out here. I'm going to show you the project I'm working on now. Been trying to get this blind together here. I had a part of it made, but I've changed my mind on how I'm doing it. So this is one that's done, one of the panels. So this is what it'll look like after it's all said and done here. I got this panel in here though. This is a panel I just got done doing. It's a 1-inch square tubing around the outside, and then 2 cross members coming up and down here, across there. It's 4 feet tall by 8 feet long. I originally had some burlap, the camo burlap. Some cheap stuff there. I had that on there with some chicken wire. I was gonna zip tie some grass and stuff on there onto it, but decided not to because that burlap get wet and it'd be way heavier than it needs to be. So I got this panel, these panels here. They're actually from a pallet rack here. I got a couple more out here outside there. They from a pallet rack, you stack pallets on. When we had Shopco and Sears both here locally that went out of business, and so we went up there and they were selling the racks and stuff, but I was gonna get a pallet, actual whole rack, but they were out. But they had the shelving units from them, so I decided to buy a couple of them and didn't really know what I'd use them for, but they worked out pretty good for this. I got them welded on there. I hit the middle piece off, and then I cut the ends off because I had a piece that would wrap around. On that one over there, I left them on both sides, and they actually stick around the side. On this one, I decided to cut them off. I wish I would have done that one actually too, and then I have them welded on. I weld every one of them down the side here, and then just kind of stitch weld it here across. There's one here. It's kind of hard to see at the lighting in here right now. Another one here, another one here. We got a little spot weld there, and then another one right there. Did that down there. Weld every couple of these going down. And then in the center, instead of putting another piece in between here, I just used some rope, some twine rope. Tied it across there. And I got 4x4 grass mats here, which on that one, and I'm going to lay that across there and then tie it on, get it tied on, and then be able to put some vegetation from wherever we're hunting at on top of it to go from there to kind of blend it in a little bit more. I have some ripstop material. My mother-in-law is actually going to be sewing it up, which ain't a whole lot of sewing to it, but that's going to go on the back of this. So the grass is going to go on this side of it, but on this back side I'm going to have that ripstop, which is what they have. It's what they make the Army parachutes out of. It's a ripstop nylon. Going to use that. That'll be a windbreak material to hold the wind out in the middle of winter when it's cold. Try to hold some of that wind out. And it'll also be a darker background behind this. So like right now, I don't know if you can see through this. This is going to pick it up. You can kind of see the light going through there, which ain't that bad because it's going to break up the shadows and stuff right now. You won't necessarily be able to see us because most of us wear camo anyways, but you can vaguely see through there. So early in the morning, if there's a light on or something in there, you'll be able to see through it, of course, but it's time to actually hunt. Our lights go out, so we'll so you can kind of vaguely see through it, but it'll break up a lot of the shadows. Plus having 2 back to back, you won't be able to see a whole lot through there. But that ripstop material, it is a camo material. I didn't buy it because it was camo. I bought it because it was cheap. It was like $4.28 a yard, and a linear yard when they were 62 inches wide, I believe. I'm gonna sew that, or have that sewn up and have these ties on there where I can tie it to each cross member here, tie it on the ends, and then down the center and across the top, across the bottom, just to help hold the wind out. It's gonna have a diagonal cut It's gonna be 4 feet tall by 8 feet long. But on the corner here, it's gonna have an angle, because this right here is how they actually hook together. The top pieces hook together, and then and it's gonna go across there. But so it's gonna come down, angle down, because on the other one there, I have corner brackets on those. So I just marked those out, and they're gonna be cut down. And then it's gonna have a 2 foot extra piece on the end. So it's actually gonna be 4 feet by 12 feet. But they, and it'll help hold the wind out though. So that way, get out there in like December or January when wind's blowing, when it's actually cold outside, be able to hold that wind out. Right now, early season, we won't need that as much to hold the wind out. It'll be windy, but it won't be cold. So we won't necessarily really have to have that wind blocked out. Decided to build this over buying a traditional A-frame just for the price. I mean, all in all, when I get all said and done here, I'll have about a little over $100 into it and about 2 hours worth of time building it, really. The square tubing is like 11 bucks a stick for a 24 foot stick. I think they're 24 feet. And I had it, I didn't buy it for this, I have it. I bought it for other projects just like this or anything like this. And I already had it, so it didn't really cost a whole lot there. The rope was 99 cents for a 100-foot roll. The grass mats were $35, 34 something. They had them on sale at local outdoor store. So I bought those. So really it don't cost a whole lot to build it, a little bit of time. And those like the Avery A-frames, you can buy them. They're $300-400. You go to buy them, or any other brand too. They pack into a bag, but you know, after you get used to it, you can put them together in about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes if you're really good and fast at them. But definitely the first couple times it'll take you quite a while to do. This will take me about 2 minutes to set up, maybe. And then if they're gonna pack together, not sure if I'm gonna put grass against grass or put the fabric against fabric. Not really sure yet. So which side I'm gonna put these two together. But I stack them up like that. But I built these these are wheelchair wheels that my dad got out of the scrap, that and some old bed frame angle iron that I had laying around. I picked up at the actual town cleanup for another project of mine. This is just some leftover pieces, but I originally made them to where they would slide in to the end here to hook on, and then but that way it held the back end here, and the wheels set up about here. But I decided to not do that, because once I put that grass and stuff on there, I don't want to snag it, try to slide it in there, or like I could have spaced them out a little bit maybe where it came up like there. But so I ended up cutting that rebar off, which is what I had slipped in there. I had some 3/4 inch square tubing that would fit right down inside of that piece, this 1 inch piece. But like I said, I opted out just because I didn't want to have to try to fight with that material. Now all I have to do is lift up the one end, slide the wheels underneath there and set it back down. A lot of friction will hold it on, but just take a piece of, get a ratchet strap and ratchet strap this to the frame to put these wheels here. But this will be the actual back end of it, and the wheels will be up. I think that's 2 feet 8 inches or so coming up. That way it'll help alleviate some of the weight from there. So if I put those wheels here, I'm lifting on the other end down here. It won't be, you're not carrying all that weight with that pivot point. You're gonna balance some of that weight out. But I'm gonna use this to take the decoys and stuff out to the field or wherever to set up, rather than carrying these big bags here. You know, these bags weigh, I don't know, 35, maybe 40 pounds, maybe 30 pounds, 25 pounds, I don't know. But taking a couple decoy bags out there, you know, it's hard on your shoulders and a lot of weight, and you get exhausted carrying it out there. This will help it out a lot because I'll be able to stack that weight right across the wheels. Be able to put our guns on there and lay our guns down, or any chairs or whatever, you know, as much as we can, and put on there and just wheel it out there. Wheel it right on out to the field and have it all set up. I'll get the pieces. I got some cross member pieces here to go to the top. I had this end bolted onto this end, and then on the other side I have it just slipped down on top of it. I'm going to extend these out with another piece of flat bar on this side to make it longer, to open that gap on the top. You know, a little trial and error. The first time we made it, I thought that'd be okay, but it's a little tight, a little snug fit, so we're going to extend them out about 4 or 5 inches, I think I'm going to do. Once I get this other one put together, I'll set it up and see what it looks like and how far I need it apart. But give yourself about 28 inches of room in there in the top. So I'll get the grass tied on here, and then I'll show you kind of how I did it, how I tied that on there, and then maybe show you, and then I'll get the wheels underneath it and show you the end result here. So I'm gonna get this set back up and get the grass tied on and show you what's going on here. Here it is, not quite done, but show you the process quick. I got the bottoms here zip tied on. I got the rope running to the bottom. So I got them zip tied every, I don't know, 8 inches, a foot, off and on. Got it overlapped here just by a little bit and zip tied on both sides there, all the way down. I rolled the edge over the side here and zip tied them to hold them down on the side, on both sides. And then throughout the middle here, I got them tied on. Let me see if I can find one here. All right, right there. I got it tied on with this grass, just like this stuff. It's a 3-pound bag of whoop grass, but it's all mixed. I got a couple different versions of it here, but just pulling strands out of that and tying them on all the way across, kind of doing them across about a foot high, another 2 feet, 3 feet, and then across the top, doing that all the way across, kind of tying that to the frame there, so it holds it up against there. And there's holes you can kind of see through. You can't tell with the camera, but which is about the same thing a duck or a goose is going to see. But again, with that fabric on the back, you won't be able to see through very well. It'll actually break it up real nice. So I'll finish tying this up and then set it up, show you how the wheels work, show you how how it all looks when it's all set up. Alright guys, hope you can hear me. I'm out in the wind today. Got it set up now. This is just about finished. You can kind of see through it here, but once I get some darker fabric on the back, it won't be too bad. I got to tie some pieces up. There's kind of a bulge here. I want to tighten that up a little bit there. See if it'll pick it up. Tie some of that back there. Right now I got it just clamped on. I extended this crossbar here lengthwise to be able to get some more area in between to be able to stand up and shoot out of if we need it. I'm gonna paint. I haven't painted the inside of the inside of the rack here where I have everything tied on, because if we lean it like this, which is the original idea of having to lean, we won't want that shiny in the back. I want to paint that, so I'll get some different colors and camo non-reflective paint and paint some of that stuff up. And then on this back piece here, I got a couple pieces of tie. I just couldn't tie it when it was leaning up against anything, just to bring that back up. And after I get these drilled out and notched, like I have on the front piece here, See if I can get it on camera here, underneath here. Of course, probably not. I have that flat bar notch there to get around that carriage bolt. I'm gonna do the same thing back here. I just want to make sure it'd be the right length to give us enough headspace through here. Once I get that on there, I'm gonna have wing nuts on these bolts sticking out to be able to tighten down on there and get it at the right angle if we want to make it where this top piece is level. Bring this. All right, guys, here it is. Almost finished product. Got it all together, everything together here, all tied on. I got to do a little bit more tying now that I actually have it erected and out in the wind a little bit, kind of see what it looks like. Some of these bubbles in here I have to tie back just a little bit so I ain't catching them on anything when I'm getting them out to the field. I've extended the crossbar here to hold the width out, give us a little more space to get in and out, you know, be able to stand up and shoot if we need to and get the guns in and out without banging them on everything. I have yet to drill the hole and notch this flat bar from where I extended that out. And when I do that, I'm going to put a wing nut on this bolt sticking out here so I can tighten it down. So right now I have the front angled, and it's actually the bar here. I don't know if you can see it. This bar is actually touching the frame and locking it to where it ain't letting it tip any farther. And I'll be able to tip this back piece a little bit, and then untip the front, tip it up a little bit to be able to straighten them up to make this level if I want to, or I can have the backdrop if I want it. I'm gonna paint, once I get this all back together, I'm gonna paint the inside of this with all non-reflective. I painted the other side, but I'm gonna want to paint the top of, at least the top portion of both of these. That way if I have them tilted and that's exposed, it ain't getting any reflection off of the flare any geese or any ducks. So I've got them both extended. I just got to finish welding them out and drill a hole and notch it. And then of course you can see through that. I don't know if you can, probably can't tell a whole lot on the camera, but these holes, some of these holes you'll be able to see through right now. See if I can get it from underneath, see if you can see through underneath. Oh yeah, you can see a little better. The camera makes it look way worse than it actually is. It'll break up a lot of shadows. And with the fabric on the back side, it won't have any light coming through. But I won't want it exposed to any of that metal that might be unpainted. I might want to touch up some of that with some different colored green paint or brown paint, non-reflective camo. And I got the top back there to tie up. I just couldn't tie it when it was down the ground, so I'll get that tied to the top there across the top. But you know, not bad if you're comparing that to an like Avery X A-frame blind, which is about $300 and some. And took me about 2 days of actually, not even full days, but 2 days of actually working on it, and about 10 minutes this morning here to finish up these bars. Won't take me very long to weld that up, put on a drill press and drill that out, and then cut it with a grinder, cut that hole out. But there it is. And once we get out in the field, we'll actually probably take, well, the fabric will be on the ends. It's going to extend out on the end where I'll be able to close, we'll be able to close that up to block some of that wind out of there and cover us some more, and then have some grass tied to that and hiding us. Kind of close the end in and tie it all together. One end we'll probably block off entirely and we'll leave the bar on, and the other side the bar will be removed. It'll still stand with just one bar. I just have these on here now. I mean, I can take this one off and it still stands with just the one bar. I just put it on to make sure it's evenly spaced. And once I get that to where I can lock the other side, it really won't tip anywhere. But be able to close the one side off and be able to get in and out from the one side, we'll all have to come in and out, which is about the same way a lot of the A-frames are. Some of them have them double open end, Some of them do, some of them don't. Or you can duck underneath that, but some of the older guys we go with won't want to duck underneath that, which is fine. But that's set up for about an average height of 16. Well, you can shoot out of a 16-inch chair, or we can shoot out of like a 25-inch chair, which the average hunting chair is about 17 inches or so, every one we found. And it sticks out your head, just top of your head. You know, your chin might be at that bar. The grass is going to help cover that up. Put a little camo on your hat, you're good to go. But all in all, I have, oh, you know, figure $100. $100 and a little bit of your time, which some people figure their time into it, but when I'm going to spend my time putting the dang thing up, when I'm buying a $300 blind, I'm saving my money on time setting this up, because this takes you about 2 minutes, maybe if you're by yourself. And if I'm by myself, I'll probably use my layout blind, which will take me still about 2 to 3 minutes to get a layout blind set up. And then you got to blend it in. So adding time on top of that, this is just about ready to go in any field we go in. Throw a couple corn stalks on there, or some vegetation from the field edge where we're at, or wherever. Tie it into there, and it'll look just like a pump's out in the middle of the field, and geese will still come right into them. So there's my version of the $300 A-frame blind. I looked around. I finally found one video on YouTube about an A-frame, homemade A-frame, and theirs is welded. Well, I found another one too, about a week ago, with a PVC pipe one, but they had another one that I seen that was welded, and it was a lot longer than this, but about the same scenario. I didn't quite watch the second part when they put, or I don't even know if they had a video on how they cameled it up and tied their grass on, or how they did their grass. I did see a video that they said they showed them hunting at it the first time, but I didn't have time to watch it at the time, and I haven't been able to go back yet to watch it, kind of see how they did theirs. But couldn't really come across anything, and this is what we came up with, and it works out. I carry these one-handed. You just lift it up to your shoulder and you can walk right with it with just one, so setting it up ain't too hard. Lay them down, both ends touching down, so the bottoms are 8 feet apart. And right now at this angle, they're 5 feet, the bottom space 5 feet right now. So if you lay these down top to top, grass up, that'll be 8 feet from the bottom. You'll be able to lift both ends up and hook your bars on it and set it up. So, and then you just slide your bottoms around wherever you need them at and set them up. So even by yourself, you can have this up in a couple minutes and ready to hunt. So if you show up to the field late, spending 15-20 minutes trying to get one of those other ones together, I think this is a better option for me. I mean, some people like those, and if you have the money and want one, more power to you. But